So today we're looking at advanced twist techniques, who it's for, what's in it, how to make the most of it. And advanced twist techniques is where I share my latest ideas on how to create new designs, how to use advanced twists, like what even are the advanced twists, what are the ways of creating new twists. And there's a couple different ways that are elaborated on in this course. And this is something that's always evolving. So typically I'll have an annual update. I'm not doing that this year, but there are 3 sets of lectures already in here. And we can see in the 2021 section, it covers hybrid twists, general twists, which is my word for more and more open twists. So there's closed, open, double open, triple open, quadruple open. I just start calling that general twists. Compound twists, which is a twist inside of another twist. Unusual twists, and in this case that would be like trapezoids. Trapezoids, the first thing up. And there's some other unusual shapes. I'm not entirely clear on which ones are in there anymore. That was 3 years ago. But the recording's right there. Clustered twists. So this is stuff like the triple triangle twist, like what's come up in a couple of my recent patterns that I've been talking about. There's isoarea twist, there's isoarea only tilings, and we actually did a whole design sequence. So you can see this is 44 minutes here of coming up with a pattern that uses only hexagon twists. Also, hi everyone who's watching live. I can see y'all in the chat. Feel free to ask questions. And so we were able to come up with this new pattern on the spot that has open hexagon twists on the front and the back, and then isoarea hexagon twists to go between the two. And every time I do lessons like this, I end up developing more than what I came into the lesson with. So after that, when I was running tessellations by tiles the next summer, I found several more patterns that had different ways of resolving the 6 pleats coming in with opposite twist directions, with alternating twist directions in the same twist. But there's so much that you can get into here. Like in 2022, we've got systems of twists. So this is kind of the same idea as the general twists, but it makes the connection from the twists on the front to the twists on the back. So if you've seen my number lines of square twists, of triangle twists, of hexagon twists videos, then you'll know this concept. But this really brings it all together into one place where you can reliably find all the information that you need. There's also mixed depth twists, where there's different pleat depths in the same pattern. And so, like here, just like I was talking about in the previous set of lectures, I designed and folded this pattern during the lecture. Most of the folding was done actually during Ben Parker's talk. I do sometimes have guests on here. So Ben has this notation system for like how the pleats come into the twists. And that actually includes a link to the Origami Math Zoom group that Ben and I are part of. And I'm happy to share that more broadly, but not publicly. So ask me if you want to join. And then I start talking about expanded symmetries. So each of the lectures in the 2022 update are around an hour. And we can get so many, so many different patterns And this is where I share things like tilings that I think would be cool to explore that I haven't explored yet. So a tiling is an archetype of an origami tessellation pattern that says how it's connected, but it doesn't say what twists are in which of those tiles and which side of the paper they're on. So you could have a triangle tile, you could fill it with a closed triangle on one side, open triangle on the other side, cursed triangle, compound triangle, whatever really you want, with a three-way intersection of pleats. But that gets a little dicey because you've got to manage how the pleats go to everywhere else. And then I'll often include office hours after the lecture updates, so you have time to process and then time to ask questions. In the 2023 lectures, we had another view on twist modifications from my point of view instead of Ben's point of view, going into like what's a hybrid twist versus a mixed depth twist, and how can we, like, where can we use each of these various things. So every year there's something a little bit more that I develop, a little bit more. And in the 2023 update, that's when I really wrapped my head around the hybrid hexagon twists. And so in the designing from the inside out, I think with designing from the inside out, we stuck with things with rhombus twists, no hybrid hexagons in there, but designing from the outside in, we definitely got into those hybrid hexagons. Let me see.
Look at my...
Yeah, definitely got the hybrid hexagon in there. And we were building up these patterns that ended up being tessellations that I folded and made the crease pattern available in the crease pattern library of advanced twist techniques. So pretty much all of my courses come with some number of crease patterns, and the crease pattern library for advanced twist techniques is particularly extensive, and it's categorized by technique. So the sorting is mostly by year, the year that it's introduced, and you can see this download section has zip files with all of the crease patterns for a given year, so that's easy to download. You can also download the individual ones by clicking on the name. And so we've got things with hybrid square twists, expanded symmetry, general twists, so the double open or larger sizes. We've got compound twists. We've got isoarea patterns, isoarea twists, mixed depth patterns, like there's all kinds of things going on. And as we move down, you can see I shift focus a bit more towards the expanded symmetries, these green labels, and bring in hybrid, not just square twists, but hexagon twists as well. And then there's just all of these different patterns. You can see 2022 was a particularly good year for adding in patterns. That was before I came out with Tessellation Garden. So this was one of the best ways to get access to these. And in 2023, again, lots of hybrid, lots of expanded symmetry, and then these patterns that we designed together from the inside out or the outside in. So if you are really interested in designing your own origami tessellations, then that's really what advanced twist techniques is aiming at. And it's kind of two sides of a coin of you want to design your own and you want to fold the most advanced things available. So being able to do either of those, and really I think it's kind of the same skills to design your own as to understand everything that you see in a crease pattern. because bringing that designer mindset into what's going on in the crease pattern, you start to see like, oh, this was a choice here and it could have been made differently. So you can look at, okay, the original designer did it this way, but what if I change this factor? And that's where the crease pattern templates can be really helpful, where you can have access to exactly the files that I use when I'm designing my patterns, which is these grid templates and the twist toolboxes, both the master twist toolbox and the clusters of 4 triangles that I have as my defaults when I'm in Inkscape. And in fact, if I open up Inkscape right now, one of the things what pops up is the master toolbox, because I set it as my default file in Inkscape, which if you're drawing a lot of things that are not crease patterns, I don't recommend setting it as your default, but for me it works pretty well. So this has the number lines of all of these twists. It has the left and right-handed versions of the front and back up to triple open on most of these twists, sometimes even more open. It has the mixed depth twists, the hybrid twists, more hybrid twists over here because the organization got a little bit cluttered rather. It's got reordered pleats here with the iso area hexagons. It's got different ways of clustering. Functionally, these are hexagon twists, but it's clustering open triangles around a closed hexagon so tightly that one edge of the open triangle is flipped back on itself. It's got double depth twists, and these are all matched to the background grids that are the same size as the background grids in my background grid templates. Then there's some fun stuff like you can have some arrangements of pleats that are coming in and choose not to twist it, or you can twist that arrangement. I believe this is a mirrored copy of the iso area twist down here. Yeah. And you can also hybridize your mixed depth twists because why not? So this one has one single depth pleat coming in this way, one double depth pleat, so 2 spaces between the mountain and valley coming in this way, and 2 single depth pleats. So that's a total of 2 grid spacings of shrinkage across that pleat direction coming in this way. So those 2 single depth pleats are basically a double depth pleat that's been split into 2 and separated a little bit. More on that in a video later this week. So there's a ton of stuff that you can design from these crease pattern templates, and there's just no end to it, really. One of the ways that I would recommend making the most of the advanced twist techniques lectures is just watching the videos first, and then if there's any folding, like there's certain ones of them where I'll have a bunch of 8-fold grids and demonstrate folding each of these advanced twists, then figure out the grids you need and fold along the second time through. Then you can take a look at all of those crease patterns in the crease pattern library and start playing with it. Seeing first, can you fold these crease patterns? And then can you find variations on them? What if you change the spacing? What if you swap out a twist for a different one? What would happen? And then the last piece of that is when you have these ideas, when you're playing with the crease patterns, you can, if you need some help, you can post to Discord, say like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Would that work out? And the other students in the course and I can help you with that. Making these variations is really what's going to turn you into a tessellation designer in your own right. So that is what I have to say about the Advanced Twist Techniques course. There's so much going on in here, and it's one of my lower priced courses. So there's a link in the description that you can click on to go straight to the sales page for this course, and you can sign up at any time. And when you sign up, you'll be there when the next lectures are held, and those are live events that you can join in live, just like your yeah. So in the chat, it's why do I feel like this is the foundation knowledge for something else? Breaking it to us gently that this is what will be happening to our brains. It will feel funny, but it's for our own good. Yeah. So when you can design your own origami tessellations, I guess that's the key thing here. Like, why would people want to design their own origami tessellations? For me, at least, it's been really liberating in that I can fold whatever I want. And I can always fold something new. I don't have to go search on the internet to figure out what's new that I can go fold, or what people have documented that I can go fold. I just sit down and fold stuff, or I fiddle with crease patterns on my computer and then figure out a new pattern and go fold it. So we can get that autonomy, and then you start seeing the symmetry points everywhere, and everything you fold reminds you of, oh, but what if I did it this way, that way, and the other way? So there's a lot that you can get out of becoming an origami tessellation designer. Whether you fold origami as a personal challenge or as a way to meditatively focus on what's right in front of you instead of what's going on outside of your control. And having that design aspect is just that extra little bit that takes it from, oh, I'm doing this and it's kind of frustrating because I don't know what's going on, really, to, okay, I know exactly what needs to happen here. We're making this choice, and then we're making that choice, and then we're making the other choice. And so we can get all of these lovely patterns and understand them too. And then, have I done the hat tessellation? I have not folded the aperiodic monotile hat, and that's partly because it's a very jagged shape. So it has all of these, lack of symmetry, and also it's not a convex shape, it's a concave shape. It has all of these edges going in and then back out as you go around the hat or specter or whichever aperiodic monotile you prefer. And that is actually impossible to fold from a single sheet of paper, because you would need more than 360 degrees of paper to get in and around that corner while folding under, which can be done as long as you're willing to cut the paper. And Peter Keller has his Abomination series that do pretty precisely that, not with the hat yet. But you could manage the hat probably with Peter's Abomination series. The problem, though, and this is something I learned at the Bridges Conference in Richmond this year is that when you start spacing the hats out, there's different distances between different edges to get them all to lay out in the pattern and have the hat shape. So that could be a problem when we're looking at an origami version. So there's so many things that have yet to be explored. And if I remember correctly, in the download section of one of these different different lectures, there's an extra download of the well, maybe it's in the 2022 with the mixed depth twists, where I show a whole bunch of different tilings, and that might just be during the lectures. So yeah, during the lectures you can see all these different tilings that are basically stretched versions of existing tilings. There's just so much that you can do with these tessellations that I haven't had the time to explore, that I would love to see explored. And that's part of why I teach advanced twist techniques most years. It's kind of the same reason why I publish academic math papers. It's like, hey guys, check this out. It's so cool. And also, there's so much further that it can go, and I don't have the time to take it that far myself. So let's have everyone chip in and contribute to finding what the possibilities are in these patterns. So that's what's going on with advanced twist techniques, and I hope to see you joining the course sometime soon. Of course, there's a lot of advanced techniques here on my YouTube channel as well, and I'm going to put the playlist of all of those here in the end screen, so you can check those out right away. Happy folding, everyone, and see you next week.